college football, big thing for you. We were talking earlier when we got on the show.
Yeah.
You're on the road, see a lot of different stadiums. You know, if you see these kids getting recruited and you walk into some of these stadiums and you're like, damn, if I was a kid, this is the place that I would want to fucking go.
Bro, you know what I do because I've gotten a lot of tours. So when we're coming to town somewhere and there's a college football program and they're like, yeah, you know, we'd love to give you a tour. I always tell the person, I go, treat me like a 5-star recruit. I want to feel like you are seducing me to go here. And they're always like, okay. They give me like the full, I'm like, this is my fantasy. So you treat me like I am a, you know, top rivals, top 100 parade All-American. And they're like, got it. There's so many places that you go, like, you know, they all have some appeal, right? Once you're like a top, like you'd say a top 25 kind of program, there's things about like, I mean, I can, you know, like when we did Notre Dame, like that's like this storied, obviously program and culture. Like you could feel that it's special. The most impressive like facility that I had been to, because it was like just renovated, was LSU.
Yeah.
Bro, we walked in there and I was like, what is happening? Because we had just done a couple NFL tours. I was like, this is way better. And
college facilities are nicer than NFL facilities.
that's a mind fuck, I think, to a lot of people. You're like, wait, what? And LSU was just out of control. I mean, it was really impressive. Then there's ones that also just like, I didn't know what to expect, and I was still like, this is pretty wild, you know, like seeing like Penn State. We were there on a spring game day. That was super impressive. Nebraska, too, was like a very, very cool tour. So, yeah, there's been a whole bunch that really stand out.
It's kind of gotten to the point now. I remember, you know, being at A&M and thinking like, okay, this is really nice. I leave, go to the NFL. They do the renovations, come back a couple years later, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten like that at pretty much every top 25 program that you're going to see. They
Pretty
come
much.
in and they're just fucking amazing. Going into some of these, you ever hear any good stories, crazy stories about players or about? I mean, you've had to have heard some good ones.
Well, the best one was that I heard stories that that I was like telling, because when I was on the tour, I had like asked for stories.
Yeah.
And then I got some wild stories about Ndamukong Suh. And so I retold one of them like on a podcast, and then somebody else was like, check this out, like a friend, and it was a text from him to this person like, who's this cat talking about me? And I was like, hey man, I don't want any fucking problems.
No, that's one guy you do not want any fucking
Hey
smoke
man,
with.
respect, big fan, you're the shit. All the stories are good stories about you.
Well, I'll take you on the A&M 5-star recruiting tour, and I'm sure they'll have some fucking good stories.
Wait, let me ask you this, because the thing that because I love college ball, and I think if you love college ball, then you have like an appreciation for high school ball, right? Because it is like the next level up. When you're in high school, and I know you're an incredible high school player, you're getting recruited. You almost went to Oregon.
Yep.
Incredible facilities.
Yep.
I mean, Nike money.
Yeah, they have fucking Lamborghini leather in their fucking auditorium seats.
So, how close were you to going?
I was really close to going. So I went on a recruiting visit in the summer, probably like June, July, and the second I got offered, boom, committed pretty much the next day. And then I went through probably 3 or 4 weeks in my senior season. I was having a great season. I had no in-state offers, and I wanted to stay in Texas.
You did want to stay.
I wanted to stay in Texas. I wanted to go to UT. And
that is crazy.
like 3 or 4 weeks into my senior season, A&M came down, watched the game, offered me the following week, and then it kind of started to go into like a decision time. So it took me a couple weeks probably after that to decide that I wasn't going to go to Oregon.
Was there a thing though, because like you're a Texas kid, you want to go to UT, so UT is like the place. That
UT during those times, if you remember it, I mean, they went straight from, by the time I was in like 6th grade, it was Vince Young in the Rose Bowl. He lost 2 games throughout his entire career there. Then you go from that and you go straight into Colt McCoy, who
Yeah.
had 4 years of being fucking unbelievable. And at that point in time, Texas, the way they were recruiting was pretty much like they got anybody in the state of Texas that they wanted.
Yeah.
So they had a list of 25, 30 guys that they wanted. They offered all of them, and they were getting commits like early signing period. They would have pretty much their entire class done.
But when you get the A&M offer, are you kind of like, I don't want to go to there? Is it kind of like?
It definitely took me a while I was like, okay, I finally got a good in-state offer. Getting to Oregon from where I was from outside of Austin was like a fucking
To Eugene is not
brutal. It was
easily accessible.
It was so
place.
hard. So it was a 2.5 hour drive to Austin. Fly from Austin, think you could go to Portland. Then Portland, you hop over to Eugene. So it was fucking miserable for my parents. They would have come up once, maybe twice a year.
Right.
They weren't in the position to where they were going to be coming every week. And I was like, I want to see my family play. I'd been in the state of Texas my whole life, and then as I was thinking about committing to A&M, they were just like, they just weren't very good. Like I was going on recruiting visits. I remember going to watch them play against like Florida International, Florida Atlantic, and they win by like a fucking touchdown that they squeak out late. So I'm kind of like, man, what I know as a kid and what I remember watching as a kid was A&M just being okay. And then as I got a chance to like see the school, go to like more games, they had some really good games later that year where they had, 89,000, 90,000 people there, and the place was absolutely fucking rocking, and you got to see what it was all about.
Yeah.
There was an Oklahoma game that year and a Nebraska game that were really, really good. And after those two games, I was like, okay, this is the place I could see myself going to. And but it definitely took me a while. I used to go to so many Texas games through my first couple years of high school. Like right when I first was able to drive, I'd con my parents into letting me drive to Austin for a game, and going to a game there and then going to a game at A&M were just two completely different fucking things. So it definitely took me a while, even being in the state of Texas, to really understand what kind of A&M was all about and see it when it was at its best.
Yeah, I mean, people, like, if you follow college ball, there's different conversations amongst fans, and one of them is like, which environment is the wildest for a game? And I think that people now kind of go like, oh, you have to go to an A&M game.
Yeah, just I think it's something you have to see. I would say you would if you're looking around college football, places you need to probably like really go see. You need to go see a night game in Death Valley.
Yeah.
You need to go see a game at Penn State.
I feel like people also say that it's worth going to a Virginia Tech game.
Yep.
And that the Clemson environment's also wild.
Probably the Swamp.
Yeah, it's another one. Yeah, so those are all ones that I mean, I've been to a few games, but I haven't.
A&M with what they built the stadium into now compared to when I was there, the place is fucking really special.
I have to go.